get the energy. So when I announce them, I need a lot of energy, okay?
Yep.
St. Louis, please give it up for Austin Tindle, Jade Saxton, and Bryce Papenbrook.
Can't clap the treats.
Yeah, until the very end.
Okay.
That smells good, actually. What is that?
It's tea.
Well, I knew that.
It's wild sweet orange.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, and if you have any interest in tea, you should check out the Unlocked app.
Woo!
Subscribe through the link in my bio on Instagram to come watch.
I have it already.
Episodes of Tindle's Tea Time of the Soul.
And it's awesome.
It's fantastic.
Hey, there's a happy customer right there.
So before you guys came out, we determined that there's some nervous people in the crowd, and I always like to point out the nervous people. This girl right here in the pigtails, in the black sweater, second row, beside the red plaid, and then blue hair, red hair. Those are all the nervous ones. So
They're all shaking no.
I told them I was going to point them out.
Oh no.
So guys, do you guys do a lot of conventions?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
What's a lot?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true.
I mean,
What is a lot?
what would you consider a lot? I mean, like more than 10?
No, I wouldn't. I know people who do so many more than that.
I did over 25 last year.
Wow.
Whoa.
I did not. But I did probably about 10 or 11.
Austin, I think you win.
Yeah, you
I don't think
win.
I did that many last year.
I had more than 2 cons a month, almost the entire year.
Wow.
So when you guys go to cons, are you guys fans of anything there that you're like, oh man, maybe there's a celebrity there that you guys want to meet? Like, are you fans of the stuff when you go to cons?
I met Lori Petty at a con recently, and that was really exciting. She was Tank Girl.
No one knew.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I'm fans of a lot of different things. So yeah, but most of the time, I'm just hanging out with nerds like these. So no, I'm just kidding.
Nice.
That's true though.
I had a total fanboy moment that I had to like disguise because it happened in the green room. It was at Dallas Fan Expo, and Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob, was back there.
Oh, yeah. I've heard this story.
I was sitting with my daughter, and she was eating a salad with cucumbers in it, and he comes up and goes, "Are those sea cucumbers?" Ah! And like, I just froze. I was in shock, and I had to like hide it, and then he walked away, and I was like, "That was SpongeBob."
Did you know it was him before he said it?
Yes, but when he came up and did the voice, like, I just had that moment of like, I love you. I'm a big fan of SpongeBob.
Yeah.
So I know we have a lot of questions, so I don't want to take up too much time. I want to make sure that we get to these guys' questions because they have a lot of questions. He's already speaking. So guys, we have the mic right there, so you can go ahead and line up and ask whatever heart-burning questions you may have.
Okay, Bryce, I have a question about Sword Art Online.
Sure.
Did you ever actually watch it?
Yeah, actually, I watched the entire first season in Japanese before I started working on the show, which is kind of rare. Normally, you don't know what you're working on. You get a call and they're like, hey, can you come in on Monday at 3 o'clock to record some stuff? And you go, yeah, what are we working on? And they hang up. So most of the time, you don't even have that amount of time to connect to a character. You see the script for the first time when you go in to record. So I felt really fortunate I was able to do that with a couple shows I've worked on, with Sword Art, with Blue Exorcist, with Attack on Titan, with Seven Deadly Sins. I've been really lucky to be able to kind of binge watch shows before I work on them.
Now, real question, did you enjoy it?
Well, I am a big fan of Sword Art Online. I know it's not for everyone. I see the cringe on your face, but
You're allowed to be wrong.
yeah, you can be wrong. I really love the show. I feel like it's really a focus on the love story between Kirito and Asuna. And everything, like I thought it was so interesting how they create this real, authentic relationship inside a game. How the characters truly fall in love and they're really not actually with each other, they're just there in that game. And I love the concept, I fell in love with the characters, and I love how it changes itself every sort of arc. Like you have that first feeling in the first arc, and then the fairy arc happens, and then Gun Gale, I get to play a girl, like that was so much fun. So I love the show. Ordinal Scale just came out, the Sword Art movie, and it took me back to the way I felt in that first arc, and it looks like we're gonna get season 3. So you don't have to watch it, don't worry.
I'll be one of the first to watch it.
I absolutely love the show.
That's good. Okay.
So before you guys came out, I go, what's everybody's favorite anime? The first person that says something, he goes, not Sword Art Online.
Hi, so I was wondering, out of all the characters that you have played, who would be the best road trip buddy?
I feel like it would be someone obscure.
Yeah, who do you want to hang out with in a car?
I would say Marco, but he'd probably annoy me half the time.
Yeah, it would definitely not be Aaron Yeager, because he'd just be screaming at everyone the entire time.
I don't know. The first one that came to mind for me is my character in Rolling Girls. I don't know if anyone's ever seen Rolling Girls, but they drive around together all the time, and they're so chill. So, yeah.
They have the experience.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a fun trip.
I was thinking of the character from Tomo no Rin, which you were also in. Because they're just agricultural school students that know a lot about food. Safe bets.
So that's, yeah. Okay.
I play Sultan, who's Jasmine's tiger in a game called Disney Princess Palace Pets. And all you do, Sultan's there, and you give him a bath, and you comb his hair. I feel like I could just pet him all day. And that would be nice.
That's a good one. Specifically for Bryce, because how did you come up with the fake Italian accent for Caesar?
Thank you for referring to it as fake, because it was very fake. I actually I did a con in the UK, and there was a girl from Italy who had just watched that, and I'm like, I am so sorry. So I was watching Family Guy the night that I got the audition, and there's a moment where Peter pretends to be Italian, and he just goes, boop-a-da-ba-ba-da-bee-ba, boop-a-da-ba. That's what I did in the audition. And it was perfect for the part.
So mine's for Austin. Yeah, how did it feel to be a magical girl?
It felt 1,000% cute.
That's all I need.
And if you check out the DVD commentary, you can see how much I enjoy wearing dresses.
I can attest to that, yeah. Full on, you're in full on magical girl garment.
I showed up.
All the way.
I need to know more. What show is this for?
This is This a Zombie? Where Jade's character is a magical garment girl who's an alien from another planet, because obviously that's what aliens are. But I steal her powers. Oh, and I'm a zombie. I'm a zombie, and I steal her powers, so I become a zombie magical garment girl. And then
It's called "Is This a Zombie?" question mark.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's called Kore wa Tezuka. Do you remember the chant by any chance? I do. Anyway, yeah, I really enjoy wearing drag in general. I've actually done it a lot of times on stage in various shows. It's you can Google it. I own a pair of women's 11 high heel stilettos.
Good.
Wow.
And I can work them.
Okay.
What is the weirdest thing you've had to say, or the weirdest noise you've had to make for a character?
I don't think I'm allowed to say exactly what that is. I would say though, in general, for me, one of the weirdest reactions, because we'll get reactions where they describe a sound you're supposed to make. And one that just seems odd to me is closed mouth blink. And it's in anime, that is a noise that you make. And it's different depending on the context and the character.
Yeah.
It's not always going to be the same.
I think I was talking about this last night, but I had to learn how to squeal like a pig, and that was really difficult. And I also had to learn to cry like a baby, but I actually was pretty decent at that. But then one time I had like a one that said OM like Rambo yell, like, because my character had a giant like machine gun, so I had to like shake my arms in order to get that like kind of feel to it. Yeah.
I had a moment in Attack on Titan where Eren swallows Levi's boot.
Oh, yeah.
That was an interesting noise. I don't know if I'd ever made that sound before that moment, but it was something like this, like a...
Probably the trial scene.
That was fun.
I used to have a lot of trouble doing extended screams, and a couple seasons of Tokyo Ghoul helped cure that. But,
Yeah.
but especially the heroic kind of Dragon Ball-esque hero yell. I have a technique for when I'm running out of air in the booth, and this really works. Is if I'm like 80% through the scream and I know I'm not gonna make it, I just grab my butt and I squeeze it really hard. it gets that last bit of air out of there. It squeezes everything out.
Wow.
I am gonna try that.
You learn something new at these events.
I'm definitely gonna give that a shot.
Is that like
Jade's
a
like,
hidden secret
no.
of the industry?
I'm
that-
not.
I've taught it at panels, so it's a secret that I've
The Tindle
developed.
technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you talk about doing a lot of voices, doing a lot of noises and things like that. So how do you protect your voice from just overdoing it so much? Is there any certain techniques or certain things that you use to protect the voice?
I do multiple things. Lots of stuff. One thing that I learned from old outdoor Shakespeare actors, which is strange but works, is flat soda and potato chips before I go in the booth, because it coats my throat with the syrup. But also when I'm doing extended things like screaming in the booth for Tokyo Ghoul for a long time, I'll make a weird tea out of this. What's that Chinese honey called again?
It's called Hulk juice, but I don't know. I mean, that's what it's called in the
It's got a weird
bid.
Chinese name.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it.
But then I also take raw ginger and I skin it and cut it to cubes and soak that into honey and chew on that and let the juices go down my throat. And then I'll pour a bunch of stuff in tea, apple cider vinegar and honey and all sorts of gross things, echinacea.
Yeah, hydrate a lot. And I mean, certain characters you can't really. You have to say, I can only do it for this amount of time, because you don't want to like shred your voice totally. But yeah, lots of tea, and I use the Chinese stuff too.
I think I've just conditioned my voice by yelling at people so much. In high school, I taught martial arts, so I would go and teach kids and just yell at them, yell at them, yell at them. And then their parents would come to class and I'd just yell at them, yell at them, yell at them. So that was my training. And now all my characters yell.
You get those auditions where the last audition cue is just scream.
Yeah, I get a lot of that. My neighbors love me.
Okay, Bryce, I was wondering what your favorite part of voicing Caesar was, and like what the most exciting moment was.
Wow. I mean, for those of you who have seen the show, the very last scene that I play as Caesar was kind of an epic moment. I thought that was really cool. That's actually a moment where I lost my voice. I feel like I can scream for a long time in certain ranges, but Caesar is like a big, bulky man, so I had to put on my man voice, which normally I don't do. Normally I play like itty-bitty characters that scream, but for Caesar I had to put on my man voice, and I've learned that I can't scream as long as a man. If that makes sense. But I think that final scene where he's falling back and he pulls the lip ring out.
That was such a good scene.
He dies.
No spoilers. He lives.
I'm not gonna go watch
I
this.
don't watch shows anyway.
Okay, Jade. I'm gonna get killed if I don't ask if you do this. Have you ever heard of the ravioli meme?
I don't think I even heard of that one.
Apparently they have one.
I know, I'm nervous.
Basically, my buddy wants you in Kana's voice to say ravioli, don't lewd the dragon lolly.
I'm gonna look this up.
But you gotta say that. Yeah, I gotta see that.
Is this something new, or it's been around for a while?
Oh, it's been out for a while.
Oh, surely someone has like sent me if it's like a meme.
It is.
I just see a picture of a sad chef. What am I looking for here? There's SpongeBob.
I got it pulled up on my phone.
Yeah, let's see what
Gosh.
your version is. I got a cat eating ravioli.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's That's a thing.
Again, I apologize, but if I don't ask, my buddy's gonna kill me.
Okay.
Ravioli, don't loot the dragon lowly.
One more time.
One more. She already did it one time.
Take two. All right, that wasn't all right. I need some more direction here. Okay. This time, no.
Ravioli, don't loot the dragon lowly.
Thank you so much.
What's the genesis of that? Like, where did? Is it just that it rhymes?
I think it has to do with this guy who had ravioli in his pocket. I think it looks like the original was ravioli, what's in the pocket oli? I believe he has got a pocket full of ravioli and he's screaming on a college campus of some kind.
Do you know the origin of it? Like what it's supposed to be about?
SpongeBob? Oh, so you saw that one, yeah? Okay.
I saw SpongeBob ravioli.
It's a play off that. All right.
Oh,
Oh.
here's a SpongeBob video
Okay.
that has the title.
I did it all wrong, man. I'm sure.
Oh, but that's still. Okay, this is nothing.
This is just an episode
We're
of
just watching
SpongeBob.
You did it excellently. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, everybody give a round of applause for that.
Hi. Question, obviously. What's your guys' favorite Attack on Titan ship?
Like a battleship or a.
My OTP is Derpy Titan, this guy, and Santa Claus Titan. I want to spin off with them.
Well, obviously Marco has one true love. But a relationship with Jean and Marco never would have worked out because Marco really is his own better half. I said that yesterday. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Could you tell us any possible future canon ships for Attack on Titan?
Canon ships?
Yes.
I haven't read the manga, so you probably know more than me. Can I just make one up?
Yeah, I don't care.
Aaron and Levi. You're welcome.
Who is your favorite character to be as? Cat Noir or Adrian?
Oh, this is for me. That's from a show called Miraculous Ladybug, and it takes. It takes place in France, and I play this character named Adrian, who's like a supermodel who turns into a superhero named Cat Noir, who uses cheesy cat puns. I mean, it's fun playing both of them because Cat Noir, you know, you get the action with him, but Adrian, like, it's fun to play that character as well. Season 2, I really want to tell you about something that happens, but I can't.
Just do it.
I'll just say this. They've been waiting a long time for that. There's some good moments in season 2 as both characters.
That role sounds perfect.
What he did there. He's definitely used that.
Multiple times.
Hello. This is just a general question. When you guys go out for auditions, like, have you ever made an audition where you think you just flat out didn't get it, and then suddenly you get the call, and like, oh, you got that, and you're confused as to why?
That's happened to me so many times that now whenever I leave an audition, I make a point to say out loud, there's no way I got that. Because statistically speaking, it's going to increase the chances that I might get it.
One in particular, I went into audition, and if you do an in-person audition, you'll get a chance, and they'll give you a little bit of direction, a little bit of feedback, like, okay, try it like this, like, do it like that. And there was he's like, all right, thanks. Like, as soon as I did the first read, and that typically means like, that was terrible. Bye, better luck next time. But it didn't mean that, and I left feeling like super, super sad, but then I ended up getting the role, and it was Hachin and Michiko and Hachin. So I just, had full-on doubt in myself, much like yourself, like I blew that one, but yeah. So I feel like that often.
I'm still not sure what makes a good audition that actually books a role. I really just don't know the answer. So it's hard for me to judge. I just feel like I'm throwing darts at a dartboard blind, like blindfolded. Like I don't know what's gonna hit and what's not. And sometimes I'm like, yes, that felt great. And then I just did not even have a shot. So I'm not really sure.
Thank you.
Hi. I was wondering what your two favorite, besides your characters that you voiced for Attack on Titan, what were your favorite characters in the show?
I mean, gotta love Derpy Titan, obviously.
Derpy Titan's classic.
But I really like the Colossal Titan. Just enjoy his role in general. And that's all I'll say about that, because Dumbledore dies later.
I really like Levi as a character. I mean, he just comes in, destroys stuff, and then pieces out, and everything's clean.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, my question is for Jade. Do you have any favorite moments when recording Token Rambu at all?
I was gonna mention you because you're right here.
His character's cute. Adorable.
Yeah, I mean, I always this most recent one, there was a moment. Normally, okay, let me say this: when there's 700 dudes standing there, like there are in that show. By the way, she's talking about Token Rambu, which is based on an online game about anthropomorphized Japanese swords, which I'm directing season 2 right now, and Austin is in it. So there's this one scene where they're all standing there, and they make mention of the fact that they are completely out of money. And everyone's making these shocked reactions, varying sizes of varying different things. And then there's Austin. And I cast him as a nerdy thing. I just love it when he does nerdy voices. It just really cracks me up. And so his character is for about 20 seconds freaking out, and it's getting higher and higher and higher pitched the whole time. And normally I would say, let's mix that down a bit and make sure the people that sort of more matter to that moment are heard. I was like, no, we're keeping that nice and loud because it's very funny. Just something like that, yeah.
I was very surprised to hear Aaron Disney coming out of that new character that came out of the recent episode.
Yeah, I didn't get to use Aaron Dismuke. He plays Juzumaru in Tokenrambu. I didn't get to use him in season 1 because he was also directing at the same time, and he didn't have availability. So I was like, yes, I'm scooping him up now. Yeah, thank you.
I love it.
Thank you so much.
This is for all of you. What is your favorite blooper or outtake from any of the shows that you've done so far? Like your favorite funny mistake or just line that got messed up?
So at Anime Expo last year, we did a Sword Art Online panel, and they saved the bloopers from season 2, and about 80% of them were me.
Yep.
So,
I've seen the first season's one. I know how bad you can be.
So, about that, I say terrible, terrible things in the booth because I don't think anyone's gonna hear it, and I try to make the director and the engineer laugh. And then they go through the bloopers and they come up on something and like they start, other people start laughing, but it goes over the heads of the people who kind of speak Japanese. So they're like, yeah, throw that one in, it's funny, and it's horrible. So I say just disgusting, disgusting things. So don't go look on YouTube and go watch it. Go watch it.
Yeah.
It's really just terrible. Like you shouldn't listen to what I say. Go see it now.
Yep.
But there's a lot of really good ones there. I also started this thing called Bad Anime Reactions, and you wait for the smallest moment of your character, so they kind of turn you up in the booth, and then you give them a. That's good. You get him to jump. There's one moment in Blue Exorcist where he's dialing a phone, so I gave them this. That's a good one.
Yeah, doing those extra reacts are always fun, or doing them over the top is really great. Yeah, especially when it's just like a really quiet moment and you're like, ah! like just totally scare them. I do like that. But the thing is, I wish that Funimation would save some of the bloopers.
Yeah.
There was at one point like a whole bro-isode. Is that what you were gonna talk about?
Well, I was talking about that show, but not that episode.
Okay.
Princess Stride.
Princess Stride, there was the bro.
The bro-isode. I wasn't involved in that, but that was my favorite.
Caitlin Glass took the time to do 2 recordings of an entire episode. And if you know this show, it's about a parkour racing team.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bromance, and she did the bro-isode, which was a really broed out episode. But I was the lead, and the second lead was Rico Fajardo, and his character is like I'm the naturally athletic, whimsical, don't really care what's going on, and I'm good at all the sports, but I guess I'll just do it, and I kind of care. My older brother was really good at this, but whatever. And his character was the used to be out of shape as a kid and has been trying really hard at this, and then takes it really seriously, and wears glasses. You don't always see his pupils, and he's very serious, and it's no nonsense, and it's tired. My character messing around all the time. Anyway, there was one time I was recording that show, and it was a really, really tender moment where his character actually fell during one of the races. And my character comes up, picks him up, and gives him this moment of encouragement. And this is a character who had a weight problem as a child. And if you have ever seen Rico Fajardo, he's a very in-shape person. In fact, when we were doing that show, he was like, we should go record ourselves doing parkour together and do it as a promo. And I was like, that's not happening. You go for it, man. Because he actually can do all that. But anyway, not to belabor the point, there was this one moment, right? My character goes down to reach up, and in the booth I just go, "You're not fat." And I think the actual line was, "You can do it." But usually the point of a bomb is if you're the first person recording, you put something in there that the next actor is gonna, laugh at. Most of the time, they're incredibly inappropriate, and I can't repeat the majority of them.
So my question is, what kind of advice do you guys have for people that would like to go into voice acting?
I think this is always a tough question because there's not one direct answer of how to get into voice acting. I always tell people just practice. Practice as much as you can, hone in on your craft, because if you do get an opportunity to audition for something, you want to be ready. So you could take classes, you could practice on your own, record yourself, listen back to it, and try to make it better. I like to yell at people in traffic and talk to my dogs. I get a lot of practice just talking to my dogs. Works really well. Oh, and I used to prank call people. That's always fun. I would prank call girls in my middle school class as their other female friends and get away with it. That's how I knew I was onto something.
And I think all of us in general have some sort of acting background, whether that maybe was where we kind of honed our craft, like he said, like on the stage or in film or in commercials or whatever it was that kind of prepared us and got us ready for that. There's also a really good online resource. I think it's called iwannabeavoiceactor.com. Is that right?
Yes.
I think so.
Is that Yuri and Tara? Or is that?
It's the one Dave always tells people about.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that like has like so much information and like resources for you to kind of look at and explore and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, everything that we could say is probably there in terms of the logistics of forcing your way into an industry that's hard to get into. Yeah, being polite, persistent, and professional, I think, are important factors after you've honed your craft, or while you're working on that aspect of things. Sell yourself as a product, and be prepared for constant rejection.
True.
That's like 99% of my job. Just me, though.
No, it's all of us. I tell people if you book 1 out of 100 auditions, you're doing really well.
Out of any, from any of the shows you voiced for, what weapon would you use in a zombie apocalypse?
Oh.
Not including guns.
Not including guns. Oh, well, I got mine.
Not including guns? If it's any, I mean, does this include